Hello and welcome. You are watching Coffee Break with Vanessa, where you get to change the world simply by loving your own. I am super excited, very honored, very happy to introduce you to my next guest, who I am very lucky to call my friend, someone I can reach out to when I need, and that is a blessing beyond means that I could ever say thank you. So Master Vanier is here with us today. Master
Thank you
Vanier.
so much for inviting me.
Oh, I'm so thrilled, so thrilled. For those of you that are watching for the first time, this show is all about authentic, transparent, deep conversations that make a difference. And I wanted to interview guests that I feel are changing the world in their own way and shifting consciousness. And so when I thought of who I wanted, there was, like, you were on the top of my list. I had to have you here, so thank you again for being here. Now, this show is about people that are up to things and shifting humanity, if you will, and changing things. And one of the main questions that I've been asking guests is, like, we haven't always been on the path that we're on right now.
Absolutely, yes.
Right? There was a path that we were on before. And so could you share a little bit of what your life looked like before you were on the path that you're on now?
Thank you so much. I think probably one of the most important things that, to just share is that when my family had come to this Canada a long time ago, I came as an infant. And one of the things I was very aware of in terms of my environment was just being different in terms of ethnicity, race, and also gender. What's expected of a young child that's female and Asian, but at that time period. And what I really loved was the opportunity to discover. And so that put me in a place where I think I went deeper in my heart, even as a young child, to connect with the world beyond this physical reality, which we call soul reality. And I believe every child actually has their spiritual channels open. It's a matter of how much they're loved and supported. So in my particular case, I just tapped into that side of my soul reality much more, and I soon discovered that there was so much beyond this physical life, and I accepted it. So along the way, I didn't do anything with it. My family was not religious or spiritual. They were not necessarily spiritual seekers, but I think like most newcomers into this country, the primary focus is survival and settlement and immigration to help their children and the grandchildren to just do better than themselves. So in that way, I was very much influenced by larger social forces in that time. And that had to do with great revolutionary movements, both overseas and in the world, about civil rights, human rights, and Pan-Africanism, and just empowerment of people. That led me on a journey of being very moved by heart, but participating in this world and believing that I and all of us who have a responsibility to be on this planet to do something that we could leave a part of love and compassion and social justice, because that was my focus for so many years. And I had such an incredible opportunity to do that in the nonprofits, but also working with people overseas, politically, socially, and also here at home. And so that brought me on a journey of service. And that journey of service looked different when I was involved in the feminist movement or in global social change movement, or, help rebuilding civil societies like South Africa or other places where war and conflict in Europe or Central America. I was there too. And I remember distinctly it was about empowerment, community, solidarity, and a social responsibility to create something different for those that have yet to come to this planet. That led me to, I think, a place of deeper gratitude for everything that was tangible and intangible, because I've seen so many people who at one moment, one instance, something could change tremendously, either through tragedy or through the grace of the divine. So that, I hope that's a long way to just
you were involved in social justice and change, and that was a big part of your life. And then now you are well, as I know you, you're Master Vanier. You teach ancient wisdom, and you're a divine channel for Source, and you create many blessings you've done for me in my life. When did you find this work? When did this open up for you?
Yeah. I think it came to a pivotal point in my life where, although I worked in situations and environments where people suffered a great deal of violence, post-genocide situations, or in intimate violence like sexual assaults or domestic violence and trauma. So I just share that as a segue to say what I think the pivotal point was, that I realized in all the incredible things I've learned from people that touched my life, there was still something missing. And whether I didn't quite know what that was, and I realized it had to do with spirituality. At the time, there was nothing that really deeply resonated with me. And so until I reconnected to have the honor to serve and work with Aboriginal people and Aboriginal justice in particular, that in the day-to-day life and my work and my volunteer work brought together spiritual healing and restoration of not just a person and their mental health or their wellness, but community wellness, community spirituality. And I think that reawakened something deep inside me. And most immediately, there were two very special beings in my life who passed away of an illness. And I personally, honor modern medicine, but I knew there was something much deeper. And being Chinese, I understood the value and importance of traditional Chinese medicine energy and what's available on Mother Earth. And so that then led me to really make a deep connection in my heart to just put it out to the universe. I would not have used the word divine in the past, or God. For I moved around the world in the physical way, so I saw how institutions, organizations representing faith or spirituality or religion may in some instances have not been the greatest light for many people, especially Indigenous people, for example. So in my journey, I asked a question. What could I do to serve better, do different than what I was doing up to that point? I loved what I was doing to that point, and that was an opportunity to serve with people. And I received very powerful messages that basically opened up pathways until one night, and specifically after my best friend had transitioned from cancer. So did my nephew, and he was 5 years old, and he was incorrectly diagnosed at the time. And then my little godson in California was very ill, and he too had cancer. So the story wasn't about cancer, but the story is very much about service and healing and what tools and solutions are available to us, but may not be commonly known. And so one night I received a very powerful message, a spiritual message. My channels have stayed open since I was a child, but I was not living a spiritual life. I was squeezing in my spirituality in my human life. Right. And it was very powerful. The message was very simple. Wake up and turn on the TV. 3:00 in the morning. Wow. So I sat up and I had thought, okay, you know what? Maybe this isn't, I'm just, dreaming. And I heard it again. So I got up and I literally turned on the television, City Pulse, and immediately Master Sha, who's my spiritual teacher, incredible soul in human form, and he was on City Pulse television, Bruce Wilde's Health, and he said, everyone and everything has a soul. I have the power to heal myself. You have the power to heal yourself. Together we have the power to heal the world through the power of soul. That resonated in me. And the second message I heard was, this man will lead you on your spiritual journey. So as that unfolded, I had Googled him right away. And I realized that he was actually in California, miles within my little godson's environment in Oakland, California. And so these spiritual messages I received, I know them to be true. And when I follow them with the intention and in place of gratitude, they created incredible things for me.
Right.
So that led me to my spiritual teacher, Master Sha, in the Love, Peace, Harmony movement, and introduced me to the power of soul, as well as divine soul healing and Tao. And what is the Tao? The Tao is the way of life. So I had no, Vanessa, I think I've shared with you many times, I had no interest, I had no aspirations whatsoever to be on a soul journey,
right.
and to be a servant of this healing power, and to see myself in this way at all. I just saw myself very much as an activist, as someone who's on this planet, who's been given a time to be on this planet to do something good in whatever humble way that the universe would allow me to. And circumstances then put me in such a place that, I'm very grateful. Yeah. And I think today is a good time for me also to, I was, thinking, what does the universe and the Tao wants me to share today on your show? And I love your show and I love what you do. Mm-hmm. And of course, all this beautiful crew that's here. And I would say it's this. When I was led by that spiritual source to connect with Master Sha and his teachings, I had no idea I had cancer at the time.
Wow.
That's how profound it is. The loved ones in my life were transitioning from a condition that for many there is no solution. And so I started receiving spiritual messages about my own well-being, but I didn't really pay attention to it. And then one day it became so loud, and I said, I really need to honor this message. And sure enough, I went through the medical test and was confirmed through a biopsy, a pathology report, an MRI, that I had an advanced cancer. And I made a choice, a very difficult choice, but it was a choice that I think only those that are faced with a situation can decide what they want to do with their life, whether you're spiritual or not. But for me, I trusted every message I received up to that point. And I realized that I am a soul and physical embodiment for a particular purpose in this lifetime. What is it that I want to do for myself? And for myself, it was very simple. It was I will follow the path of soul healing through my own personal decision. And I've opted not to pursue any conventional treatment or any treatment whatsoever that one would medically recommend. And I was told at the time I would have 6 to 9 months to live if I didn't pursue this course, because no one can live more than 5 years, and a cure is considered 5 years if you're not in remission. So in my particular situation, I still have this advanced disease or this illness, and it's been almost 6 years. So what does that tell you? So my journey myself is really continuously about discovery and about spiritual purification, cultivating the soul, and understanding the truest and highest purpose of life. And that is to help ourselves and all of us into this great journey of the soul. Mm-hmm. And so I could not physically be present here. I don't think I today present like somebody who has a critical, serious illness. And yet that's my medical prognosis. And that's because every day I practice soul, mind, body medicine, soul, mind, body science, yes. And I practice soul healing. And I connect and receive many blessings of source, divine light frequency for myself, and most importantly, more than my own life, the great honor to tap into those healing powers and powers of service to help so many others that are facing whatever difficulty. It may not be health. It could be relationship challenges. It could be anything, simply where there's a blockage preventing them from reaching their greatest potential. So that's my journey today, and it still is my journey. So
that's incredible. Number one, I mean, that's something that you have shared privately with me, and I've heard before, but that's, I guess it goes against a lot of logic. A lot of people might be watching and be like, that's not possible, but it is. You're a walking example of the power of this work and this healing. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because if people want to access this energy, if people want to access this work, right, where do they start? Like, do they start by turning on a television and watching Dr. Sha, or do they reach out to you, or what would you say is the first step for them?
Yeah, thank you. What I want to say, if I may, that anyone who has a particular health challenge, chronic or serious or advanced, it's really important to do what you feel most comfortable in your heart and soul. And all forms of healing are complementary, and they serve a common purpose. And that's how to help you on a path of wellness. But not every path may be appropriate for that individual. I just wanted to honor and recognize that for people. So what I would say is that in our particular teaching, everything is made up of what we call Jing Qi Shen. Soul includes light, as we know as light. It's the essence of who we are. And it includes our spiritual heart and our consciousness. So that's Shen. And Qi is familiar to many people, energy. But it includes our life force energy. And Jing is matter, our physical aspect of who we are. So Jing Qi Shen, so everything is made up of Jing Qi Shen. And even this studio, this beautiful crystal, this wood, every sentient being, everything. That may be new to some, or it may be familiar but described differently. And if we accept and we understand that we're all made of the same, but we're in different embodiments or frequency, then we can have the opportunity to connect at a deeper level of our soul, our heart, our consciousness, energy, and matter. And it's really this incredible field. So when we do certain meditative practices or sacred mantras, and we use these high vibration sounds and spiritual protocols, not difficult but very easy, where we have the opportunity to help change our frequency, which is low, to something higher. The way that I personally think about a blockage, or if it's in health, my situation, for example, then it's something that occurred at a lower frequency and vibration. If we bring a higher frequency and vibration to it through divine light, source light, or our own soul healing power, then we have the ability to redirect it, to rebalance. So I think about a blockage as something out of balance, and trying to support the individual or others. It could be groups of people we can offer service to. So it's very powerful. It's about self-empowerment, giving people tools and resources, supporting them to use it on themselves, on our pets, our loved ones, or on Mother Earth or polluted lakes. And it's both ancient wisdom, which we consider as Tao wisdom, but it's also new wisdom, because we live in a special time, which in our teaching we call the soul light era. And the soul light era is a time of every soul on this planet, whether human or in the form of a beautiful tree, ocean, or crystal, has an opportunity to reconnect to the source in a very special way. So they can connect with me. They can, pick up one of these books. And we also have a chanting channel that we connect with people worldwide. And it's a wonderful service where people can make requests. So not quite prayers, but chanting. And chanting is perhaps more familiar in the East, where you do every day. It's not 3 or 5 minutes, but it takes time to discipline. And the more that one is embracing that and also bringing that healing field within themselves, the opportunity to receive benefits can be quite remarkable, or miraculous, if you will.
The other thing that they can do is something I did, which is divine healing hands. And I just got an image of, if allowed, with permission, that perhaps we could actually offer a blessing right now on the show to anybody that's watching. So it's a demonstration of this healing capability that you so blessed me with when I did that program months ago. I use it daily, and I share it with my team and my friends and all my events. It's something that I always use. So perhaps you could lead, and I will support as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, thank you for bringing up this particular aspect. So one of the key aspects of life is about empowering ourselves to serve others, but empowering others to serve themselves and keep paying it forward. And so Divine Healing Hands is an incredible treasure of light. that is a creation of light that goes into one's hand to receive the transmission and to offer blessings to people.
Yes.
So yes, thank you for reminding me.
I have it right here, and I'm ready to use it.
Okay.
So why don't I'll let you lead it, and we'll offer a blessing to anybody that's watching right now, and you can take direction, you can close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, and we invite everybody that's in the studio to do the same. And I will have Master Vanier lead the blessing for a few minutes, and I will offer my soul song in support as well.
Oh, it was just a beautiful soul song.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So, dear everyone who's watching, first of all, I want to tell you with the greatest love, I appreciate your presence on this show and in this particular program. So we invite everyone who's watching, everyone who's in the studio, take a moment and close your eyes. Just very lovingly close your eyes. Look within your own body, your emotional body, perhaps a physical or spiritual aspect of yourself. Put your hand on that part of your body. You might have a bit of discomfort, tension, inflammation, or something simply not flowing. And if it's an emotional issue, you can simply put it over what we call the message center, known in other traditions as the heart chakra. This is a center that holds our karma and our soul's enlightenment journey. So I'll put my hand on my shoulder. So you take the opportunity now, put it wherever it is. So this is called body power. Where you put your hand is where benefit and transformation can take place. Gently close your eyes. See the most incredible universal light in that part of your body. And this is mind power, creative visualization. So for sound power, in this case, our dear beloved Vanessa will offer us her soul song, which is the song from her soul. And I will too. I will do it silently and very gently. I will do it out loud. So there's always a yin and yang balance to that frequency. And you just have to simply relax and open your heart and soul to receive. For soul power, which is the most important of the 4 power technique, is to use a very simple soul invocation to activate this inner field within you. But now we're going to use divine healing hands to elevate that field. And it's very simple. Dear soul, mind, and body, of my, so I'll say my shoulder, and you could say your heart, you could say the soul of your relationship, your knees, whatever it is. I love you. It's very simple. Offer love. I honor you, and I deeply appreciate you. You have the power to heal and rejuvenate yourself. Thank you so much. And gratitude is the key in all spiritual communications and honoring. So Vanessa and I will connect heart to heart, soul to soul, to the sacred transmission known as Divine Healing Hands. It carries the divine soul light frequency of love, compassion, forgiveness, and so much more. And we'll offer this to everybody remotely and also here as appropriate. We always serve with love, peace, and harmony. Blessing, begin. close the sacred blessing by simply saying how.
Thank you.
How means perfect, get well, good, and excellent. And gratitude is one of the highest ways to demonstrate spiritual courtesy.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Vanessa, for having me on the show. Yeah.
Thank you. I couldn't think of a better way to end this segment. I want to make sure that everyone knows I will be putting links below so that you can contact and connect with Master Sha, Master Vanier, as well as the next Divine Healing Hands program that will be taking place in Toronto. And there's also a link, I'm sure, where people can find out where it's happening close to their home. And I don't have any words more. It's just infinite gratitude for your presence and for existing. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for your service to humanity and this part of Toronto, which is our home. Yes. And thank you, everyone, for really tuning in with your heart. I can feel it. And thank you, everybody, serving today.
Remember, you really are changing the world simply by loving your own. I'm going to be back here next week with 2 amazing guests. Very, very special friends of mine that are coming to visit. So again, this is Coffee Break with Vanessa, and you really are changing the world simply by loving your own. Love you. Thank you. See you next week.